Welcome once again to Test the Nation, the biggest live interactive test on British television. And as the year draws to a close, we are going to see just how much everyone remembers about 2003. Live here in the studio, off duty but still on the case, the firefighters. Pitted against the beauticians, magicians, lawyers, forces families, and last but very much not least, the wheel clampers. Now please welcome your hosts, Anne Robinson and Philip Schofield.
And it's another action-packed event, a chance to pit your wits against each other at home and also against everyone in the studio. Again, we're testing the whole nation, this time to see what you can remember about 2003. Plenty of fun in store for everyone, except possibly Ian Duncan Smith and Australian rugby fans. But you don't have to be a news junkie to shine. It's about what you've picked up over the past 12 months, from fashion to football, pop to politics, and even good old-fashioned gossip.
Now, our groups in the studio are gearing themselves up. Firefighters, obviously looking cool. Magicians trying to mind-read the answers before we get going. Lawyers sharpening their wits, or of course that could be writs. If you are getting ready to take the test, then there are lots of ways to do it, from using pen and paper to playing online. Here's the address. It's www.bbc.co.uk/testthenation. You'll find a scorecard there as well. You can download it if you find that an easier way to do the test, but you need to log on now, please, as we are starting in just a few minutes. And if you want to go digital, then press the red button now and follow the on-screen instructions, but don't change channels halfway through or you will lose what you've done.
Now, in a minute, we'll tell you how you can do the test on your mobiles. Nearly 30,000 used their phones last time. And finally, don't forget, if you need glasses, this is the time to go and get them out. Now, let's take a look at our celebrity group. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have got beauty, we have got wit, we have got muscle. We will be seeing how much they remember of 2003. Please give them a huge welcome.
Will she end tonight on a high note? Soprano Leslie Garrett. From EastEnders, where he plays mechanic Gary Hobbs, it's Albert Square Romeo Ricky Groves. She played a hairdresser in Coronation Street and a beautician in Cutting It, but can she cut it tonight? Actress Angela Griffin. He reported the news for 30 years, but will he make the headlines tonight? Michael Burke. The year's gone quickly, and so has he, former gold medal hurdler and recent CBE, Colin Jackson. From Have I Got News for You and Room 101, it's comedian Linda Smith. And finally, one man who won't forget 2003 in a hurry. He's got the date engraved on a World Cup winners' medal, England scrum half Matt Dawson.
Good evening to all our celebs, and before we start, let's remind ourselves of some of the images of the year that say, oh yes, that was 2003.
The quiet man is here to stay, and he's turning up the volume.
Ooh, would you miss me like a hole in the head? Because I do, boy, and it's cool, boy. And ooh, but you never thought I'd get out of bed because of you, boy. Such a fool, boy, boy. Yeah, 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 you really got a hold on me. You're so temptation. You're the black midnight, stealing at the light of day. You're my soul temptation.
simple, same old policies, same old Tories.
I'm very happy to debate the past with the Prime Minister any day he likes.
The shadow of Saddam is finally lifted from the Iraqi people.
Alex.
Just some of the images of 2003. What do you remember? I wonder what Matt Dawson remembers of 2003. Did you bring the cup with you tonight?
No, I didn't bring the cup, but I brought a little medal that we won.
Ah, hold it up. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. There you go. Are you getting used to this rapturous reception that you get wherever you go?
No, it wasn't loud enough at the moment, was it? No, it's been amazing. It's been, I think, just over a month, and it's gone in a flash. We had the most fantastic parade. 750,000 people came to see the squad and the management go down Oxford Street and Regent Street, down to Trafalgar Square. And then we saw the Queen, and then we saw the Prime Minister.
Will you ever get
amazing.
bored, do you think, of seeing that final few seconds of footage?
Oh, never. Never. I can't believe anyone would do.
If we were to show it to you again, would you talk us through it?
It would be a pleasure.
Here you go. Here it is.
I was just about got to my feet, and there's one man in the world you want to be given this ball, and that's Jonny Wilkinson. Somehow got it onto his right foot, and that guy does that. You can't be bored of it.
But obviously we're here to praise you as a team tonight.
Oh,
do you have time, in a moment like that, do you have time to think about tactics, to think, right, OK, I should be doing this, or is it all instinctive?
We practice so much. I mean, Johnny does probably, I don't know, 100, 200 of those a day. The boys that go into the ruck do probably about 100, 200 of those a day. I do all my passing. Someone else will do all their tackling. We practice so hard every single day. For it to come out in that 90 seconds from the line out to that last 2 seconds was something that everyone would be
Couldn't
just
have written
so
it
proud
better.
of. No, not at all.
We'll talk more a little bit later on. Leslie, what was 2003 for you? It's slightly less glamorous because it says your memories of car park 2 of Thurrock Shopping Centre.
Absolutely. I've been all over the world this year. It's been a smashing year. I've had a nationwide tour, a new album. I've made a film in Spain. I've been to Australia, New Zealand, and the highlight of the year was car park number 2, the Lakeside Shopping Centre, Thurrock.
And
without doubt.
You got pneumonia?
I did. I got a really terrible chest infection. I got really bad bronchitis. But I have to tell you that on the domestic front, there's news. We've had a little addition. My little girl, Chloe, had 2 rabbits for her birthday, and 6 weeks later, we had 9.
So 2004, London overrun with rabbits.
Overrun.
And what about Linda? What sort of a year has it been for you? One to remember, one to forget?
Well, a bit of both, really. I think the main thing I realised this year that I was too old to actually go to Glastonbury, really. My Glastonbury days were over. I'm watching it on the telly. John Peel can do it all for me. Because the last few years have been a bit tragic. The last time I went, I was completely robbed. I bought a CD of Wales song. Then when I got it home, I found it wasn't real Wales. It was a tribute band of dolphins. Hey, hey with the Minkies. So,
We'll talk more to us a little bit later on,
I was
Annie.
nodding through all that rugby. We were all nodding through that, all thinking, I have no idea what he's talking about. It looks fantastic.
We do now. We're all on the bandwagon now. Annie.
Thanks, Philip. Now, as well as our celebrities, we have 2 armchair reviewers who'll be giving their take on 2003. First, the MP who made a few headlines himself this year, not least because he announced he's turning his back on politics in favour of, well, we don't know, but we'll ask him in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Portillo. man who makes me go a bit weak at the knees. He edits Heat, the trendiest of trendy magazines, a must for happening people, certainly the one the celebs are desperate to be in. Mark Friss. Now, Michael, you were obviously thinking about a career change when you became a single mother earlier this year. Here's a reminder of you in your rather fetching green Asda uniform.
Don't tempt me, I've run out of money.
Have you? Oh.
Let me spell this out.
Someone
I have
lent you
no
some
money.
money.
No, because I wouldn't have any way to pay it back. I've got to the end of the week and I'm at the end of my budget.
Well, apart from the green outfit, which maybe not your best colour, Michael?
Not my best, no.
No, what did you learn about yourself?
Oh, I also learnt I couldn't cook. There's a rather good sequence where I'm trying to cook at the children's dinner and I drop an egg onto the floor and I'm so desperate at that point, I've got no money left at all, that the egg has to go back in the pan, and back in the pan it goes. Of course, the kids don't see it. In fact, they didn't know anything about it until it was shown on television. And I've invented a new recipe. It's called œuf à la terre.
Very good. Now, Mark, obviously Michael Portillo has been a prominent face of 2003. Who else would you nominate?
Well, as far as TV is concerned and soaps, if you're a female viewer, it's got to be one person, Nigel Harman. Nigel Harman has just come from nowhere to win awards, and he's become a huge star. Justin Timberlake only a couple of years ago was the dweeby guy in NSYNC. He's now not only a huge selling artist all over the world, but also he's really trendy as well. And so I think for those two, it's been quite an incredible year.
I'm not sure Michael's heard of him. OK, Philip.
If you think about it, you've been preparing for this show for the past 12 months. At the end of tonight, we'll be able to tell you from those who've played online which part of the country has done best. Last year, it was the Knowles in Northern Ireland who came out on top. We also have the technology to find out if shoppers are brainier than clubbers, or if it helps to have age on your side when it comes to keeping up with the news. The news here, of course, in the studio is very simple. We have 300 people who desperately want to come first tonight. Let's meet our groups. They've got the beauty, but have they got the brains? Our beauticians. They make Ebenezer Scrooge look warm and caring. The wheel clampers. On a joint mission this evening, the Forces families. We put our lives in their hands, but can they save their own skins tonight? They are the firefighters. Will tonight be their toughest brief ever? It's the lawyers. And finally, do they have a trick or two up their sleeves? The magicians! We'll put Jean Purdy, who's a magician, to the test. Hi, Jean.
Hi there.
You are a fire eater.
Yes, I am. I'm the world champion fire eater.
And you gave up smoking how long ago?
Oh, 1972. It's bad for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a bit of a problem here. I just wonder whether you could do me a favour. Could you put these two out for me? Would you mind? Is that all right? What's your hair there? We've got 50 firefighters watching here, in case you need putting out. Round of applause! Well done. Very good. You've got extraordinary breath.
Very impressive. Now, as usual, we'll be finding out which part of the country shines the brightest and whether it's men or women who have the best memories. So far, remember, in all our tests, I've had to tell you it's the men who've done better. So, beauticians and females among the firefighters, please. And the female lawyers, some very pretty lawyers here, and Forces family, the women, please, try very hard. I'm relying on you all to reverse the trend.
Now, as we said earlier, if you are so attached to your mobile that you want to do the test on it, then you can do that right now. You can text the nation and play along that way. It's all very straightforward. First, turn off your predictive texting. You need to answer each question with a letter A to D. You can type in upper or lower case. You might want to jot down your answers on paper as well, just in case for whatever reason you are interrupted, someone calls up to ask you out. Do answer each question, even if it's a guess, otherwise it will throw your scoring. After each section of questions, we'll give out a special number which you should text your answers to. At the end of the night, we'll text back your score. All messages will be charged at the normal text message rate for your network, and the score message will cost a maximum of 12p, which is a small price to pay to learn what a genius you've been.
OK, let's get going with the questions. The test covering the year is in 5 sections, something for everyone in there, so remember to have a go at least all the questions. That's 70 questions. Pencils, mobiles, computers, eyes at the ready. The 2003 test is about to begin. Now, the first section, headlines of the year. A few images to remind you.
So crazy right now. Most incredibly, it's your girl, me. It's your boy, Young.
And coming up, 5 headline makers, 15 seconds each. Question 1. During the summer's heat wave in Britain, where were the highest temperatures recorded? Was it A, Heathrow, B, Gravesend, C, Faversham, or D, Bournemouth? Question 2. What brought havoc to London, New York, and Rome? Was it A, a storm, B, a power cut, C, a terror alert, or D, French air traffic controllers? Three. Who was a cough away from $1 million? A, Charles Ingram, B, Alistair Campbell, C, Andrew Gilligan, and D, Tony Martin. Four. What was the battle plan which launched the Iraq War? Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Desert Storm, Seek and Destroy, or Shock and Awe? 5. When David Beckham joined Real Madrid, what did his squad number change to? Was it A, 4, B, 7, C, 13, or D, 23? Well, that was an easy start. Wheel clampers, are you still with us? Yes! OK. You knew they'd be noisy. Now, headline grabbers, 6 questions, 20 seconds each. Do you remember these? Sexed up. What does this refer to? The Canterbury Tales, the New England rugby shirt, a policy document on the NHS, or a dossier on Iraq? Rudetsky. What did Greg Rudetsky do at Wimbledon? Make obscene gestures to the crowd, lost his temper at the umpire, stormed off court mid-match, or refused to bow to the royal box? Borrow on a credit card, not me. Who's me? The chief executive of Barclays Bank, the governor of the Bank of England, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, or the Director General of the BBC? Something of the right. Who is this referring to? Simon Cowell, Michael Howard, Anne Widdecombe, or Ian Wright? You are free to go, Mr. Bond. A 72-year-old Briton had been imprisoned in South Africa. Why? Not having a valid passport, being on the FBI's most wanted list, impersonating his namesake, 007, or shooting a lion. Backward Christian soldiers. Who prompted this headline? The row over gay bishops, Sandhurst recruiting policy, US peacekeeping in Afghanistan, or disagreement over new prayer book? All right, next, around the world, 15 seconds each. Whom did Arnold Schwarzenegger replace as governor of California? Rudolph Giuliani, George Pataki, Gray Davis, or Mario Cuomo? Where were the first reports of the SARS virus? Vietnam, China, Canada, or Thailand? Who was Saddam's spin doctor? Was it Tariq Aziz, Uday Hussein, Comical Ali, or Chemical Ali? Which European country voted no to the euro? Was it Norway, Denmark, Finland, or Sweden? And that's the end of the first section. 4 more to come. How was it for you, beauticians? Confident? Why are they all laughing at the beauticians? Forces families, easy for you? Oh, very confident. Now, those on their mobiles, you should have 15 letters waiting to go. Here's the number to text. 07797 808 081. And the message will be charged at your usual text message rate.
Let's have a chat to a couple of our Forces members here. We've got Colin and Valerie Matheson, and you are the only mother and son to have served in both the Iraq and the Gulf Wars. Don't your families worry terribly about you?
They're up there, they'll tell you.
You brought them with you?
We brought them with us today.
Do you worry
yes.
about each other?
Yes, we do, yes. We're bound to, but we're professionally trained and we've got a job to do, so we go and do it.
What's extraordinary about the pair of you, though, is that actually you're both serving in the same squadron.
Yep.
And you outrank your mother.
I do, yes. And she has to call me sir.
And salute him.
That? And you have to salute him.
Very proud to do it.
And when you think he's made a mistake, you say, "Look, I'm sorry, son, but I'm afraid I don't think that's right."
I say, "I'm sorry, sir. I don't think that's right."
And would you ever disagree with him?
If I thought he was wrong, yes.
But it extends beyond your service careers as well, because you've moved in with him, haven't you?
Yes, I'm his lodger.
So you're now in charge at home as well?
I'm 37 years old, still living with my mum, but she pays the rent.
How do you think you're doing this evening?
OK, but I think I got the answers wrong to start with and then changed my mind, but I don't know whether we can do that.
You can't change your mind. Once you press your button, I'm afraid you've absolutely had it.
But
good luck to both
all the
of you.
war story ones, that'd be great.
Yeah, question 4, I think you probably got right.
I hope so.
I would have thought so. Good luck to both of you this evening. Let's have a chat with a lady over here who actually came right face to face with one of the major stories of 2003. She's Lindsay Donnelly in The Beauticians, and you actually got tested for SARS, didn't you?
Yes, when we went to Egypt, we were when we came off the plane, we all had to line up and be tested. So they stuck a thermometer either in your ear or on your forehead. But you just stood in a line and they used the same one for everybody, so it was really safe.
So, actually, they could have been spreading it themselves?
Yeah, they could have been, yeah.
And what was the most exciting thing when you actually landed in Egypt was?
We got to see Air Force One, because President Bush was visiting the same day, so so we got to see that, so it was really exciting.
So they were testing for SARS in case George Bush caught a cold?
Well, I suppose so, yeah, but...
Not the first time. Annie?
Yeah, I'd just like to take a closer look at the wheel clampers. Do you have to wear an earring to be a wheel clamper? They look very alike, don't they? Mick Charlton, where are you? Now, you've got a story to tell, haven't you?
Such as, Anne, well, 60% of the wheel clamps that were put on are on women's cars.
Sorry?
60% of the wheel clamps that we put on are on women's cars.
Why's that?
Don't ask me,
And
because they're like parking illegally.
How do they react?
Well, Anne, rather than pay the release fee, some of the things that were being offered, you just wouldn't like to hear about.
We'd all like to hear about it. What's offered?
Can't say that, Anne, it's before 9 o'clock.
Do you think that's right, beauticians? Thank you very much. I don't believe you. Philip?
They've made themselves really popular now, haven't they? What about Mark? Let's talk about Beckham's move. Do you think that changed his worth as a celebrity?
I think it did, in a way. People were saying that it would make him less of a celebrity, but it makes him seem more glamorous now, more global. I also think it had a real effect on, you know, his family life. Everyone was saying, almost surprising, or, you know, why is it causing divisions between him and his wife? It's bound to. Anyone who moves abroad after being based in one country for such a long time, it's going to affect them. And I think it's been pretty tough on them, but I think they've dealt with it quite well, actually.
Well, American politicians are notorious for not knowing where abroad is. And of course, Arnie now has become governor. What are your thoughts on that, Michael?
Well, Arnie does know where abroad is because he was born abroad, which is why he can't be President of the United States. He won fairly and squarely. I believe he might have said, but actually didn't, that beating isn't cheating when he won.
What about stars over here for politics? Do you have your eye on anyone think, actually, that's very good, got a good, absolutely what we need out of a politician?
The Conservative Party is looking to recruit Hugh Grant for after Michael Howard.
After the movie, of course.
Yes, absolutely. And Nigel Havers, I think he's got Conservative blood running through his veins, so he might do as well.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for the moment.
Just pretty faces, those two. So, Angela, you're looking very pretty tonight. Can you take your mind back to the heat wave? What were you busy doing then?
I was filming on a beach in Devon for most of the heat wave, as the luckiest actress in the world. I was filming Down to Earth, which half of it is shot in Devon, and for some reason all the scripts had us on the beach.
You poor things.
Oh, it was amazing. I had a great summer, actually, really great.
And Michael, were you sunbathing?
No, I wasn't, actually. I was in Africa when it was cold and pissing down with rain, which is slightly ironic. And...
Presumably you can't sunbathe if you're about to read the news, can you, with a red face?
Oh, they bring it all down with makeup. Beauticians. We have our own beauticians.
Are they as pretty as these?
Yeah, all of them, all of them.
Are they pretty, yeah. Now, Ricky, you're obviously playing on your own behalf tonight, not Gary's behalf, because you've only got 2 questions wrong so far.
Really?
Oh.
It's not bad, is it?
That's out of image, isn't it? Some juicy bits to come in EastEnders?
Yeah, in the next year, yeah. It should be good.
Because you have quite a lively time. Are you 2-timing at the moment or 3-timing?
I'm not sure, Anne, to be honest with you, but if you play your cards right, I do know the casting people,
You think?
so yeah.
Yeah? He said it, not me. OK, we're on to the second section. This is People of the Year, and we begin with notable achievements. 4 questions, 20 seconds each. Watch the clips, and those using their mobiles, you need to start a new message.
And through it all, she offers me protection, a lot of love and affection. Well, I'm right or wrong, down the waterfall, wherever it may take me. I know that life won't break me when I come to call. She won't forsake me. I'm loving angels instead.
OK, what was the significance of Robbie's Nebworth concerts? They set a new performance record. Robbie was joined by all of Take That. They were the best organised event for traffic flow, or the largest stage ever built for a concert.
I'm so grateful to be back in England. I'm happy to be back with my family. I'm looking forward to university. I'm going to be just fine. Life's looking pretty good.
Why was Matthew Scott without food for 12 days? Because he ran out of food while rowing across the Atlantic? He escaped from gorillas in the Colombian jungle? He was stranded on K2? Or he tried to copy David Blaine's stunt?
Lean over to Mummy. It's your baby brother. Give him a kiss.
Did you tell everybody at school that your mummy was having a baby today?
Actually, I knew my teacher.
And what did Miss Woodcock say?
Wow.
OK, why was this baby a scientific breakthrough for Britain? He was a genetic twin, he was a first designer baby, he was the smallest baby to survive, or he was the heaviest recorded birth weight?
My wife basically thinks that, medically speaking, heart-wise, I was advised not to be stressed at all. And she realises that if I don't go on these things, I get stressed. So it's okay to go on them.
The explorer Sir Radolf Fiennes set out to break a new record. What was it? First polar circumnavigation of the Earth, climb Mount Kilimanjaro in the fastest time, first person to walk solo to the North Pole, or to run 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents. And we're straight on to people who said clever or not so clever things this year. See if these quotes jog your memory. 15 seconds per question. Who said £1 million is a lot of money to a lot of people, but it's not that much for us? Chris Evans, Victoria Beckham, Bernie Ecclestone, or Catherine Zeta-Jones? Gulping for air, I started crying and yelling at him. Why did you lie to me? Lines from a book by whom? Jeffrey Archer, David Beckham, Hillary Clinton, or Ulrika Johnson? I thought he was some young yob in a beat-up car. Who was the yob? Ewan Blair, Prince William, Peter Phillips, or William Straw? Who said, I can only go one way, I've not got a reverse gear? John Prescott, Jeremy Clarkson, Michael Schumacher, Tony Blair. Who described her husband as a golden thread running through my life? Billy Piper, Cilla Black, Margaret Thatcher, or the Queen? Who said, we got him? Donald Rumsfeld, Lieutenant General Ricardo Sanchez, George Bush, or Paul Bremer? Yeah. Armed Forces, did we get that last one? We think so, we only think so. Okay, we're going to show you some pictures now of people or objects which share a connection. You have to make the link. 20 seconds per question. What do Diana's love letters, Elton John's furniture, and Sooty and Sweep have in common? They were donated to a museum, they were damaged in a fire, they were put up for sale, or they were stolen. Which of these ladies was not a calendar girl? Helen Mirren, Joanna Lumley, Penelope Wilton, or Julie Walters? What did William Hague, Sanjeev Bhaskar, and Charlotte Church all do? They joined the anti-war march. They presented awards at the Mobos. They presented Have I Got News for You? Or they were rewarded in the Queen's honours. What connects Sarah Brown, Heather Mills, and J.K. Rowling? They've all had babies. They've all turned 37 this year. They've all published a new book. They set up a charity together. What do Anthony Leggett, Sir Peter Mansfield, and Clive Granger have in common? They were Hutton Inquiry witnesses. They're Nobel Prize winners. They received life peerages, or they're Concorde pilots. And that's the end of the second section. 3 more to go, not too bad. Was it wheel clampers? No. They just say anything. Lawyers, you okay? Yes. What do we charge an hour? 200 an hour? No. 300 an hour? No. 400 an hour? Any 500s? I think they're being a bit coy. Now, those playing on their mobiles, a new number for you to text your answers to for questions 16 to 30. It is 07797 808 082. Philip.
Over here with Jack Singh. It's been a pretty good year for you, hasn't it, Jack?
Yes, it's been a really great year for me this year. I won the Asian Achievement Awards early on in the year, and in June I was given the OBE for services to equality and fairness. As you can see, the people here with me today are very much different from what the fire service looked like when I joined. And I collected the OBE with Colin Jackson last week at the Palace.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic.
Congratulations to you. And you took your business degree and decided you were going to become a firefighter because you couldn't do anything with it.
That's right. I had a business studies degree in 1977. Found it very difficult to break into business and joined the fire service, and I've never looked back and never applied to go ahead. It's a fantastic job.
Is it possible for you to turn off being a firefighter, or do you just end up walking around going, oh, you should have a smoke detector up there?
I don't think you ever turn off being a firefighter. Being a firefighter is being a community officer, and you're always caring about your community.
What about the fire stuff in Buckingham Palace? I mean, that's caught fire a couple of times, hasn't it?
Well, I'm sure we can give them some advice.
Did you see any smoke detectors?
Yeah, I saw plenty of smoke detectors and sprinklers.
Your Majesty, you need an extinguisher there.
No, I think they've got plenty of good fire protection in the Palace.
How are you doing this evening?
I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah?
Could do better, always.
Could you? Yeah. No one in the studio so far has got them all right. That much I can tell you.
Maybe I got one wrong.
Annie.
Mark, a big year for your sort of people who appear in Heat magazine to get the honours, isn't it? Like Mick Jagger?
Yeah, huge year. Mick Jagger's the most incredible story. He didn't want to turn up and get his honour on the same day that Johnny Wilkinson did. He said he wanted to have the spotlight on Johnny, i.e. he didn't want anyone to take the spotlight off him. So he arranged it for another day. It was going to be his big day. And the day he chose was the day that the Queen went into hospital to have her knee seen to. So he ended up getting Prince Charles. Bad luck.
So that was a rotten call.
It was a bad mistake.
Now, would you feature Tom Jones in your magazine?
Yeah.
A bit borderline?
Yeah, borderline,
Now,
certainly.
according to the papers, he was promoting himself for a knighthood, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, I think everyone has this year. It's trendy again this year to be seen to do it. But also, you kind of want to do it for your parents as well. You're not really doing it so much for them, but it's the kind of thing that convinces your parents that you do have a real job after all.
And what about the poet, Benjamin Zephaniah? He turned down an honour, didn't he?
He did, and he's not the only one. We found out on Sunday that French and Saunders have turned down honours. Dave Bowie...
They don't need them.
They don't. They've got the money. David Bowie has turned one down again. He doesn't need it. And I think it's quite strange that people don't want to do it. Nigella Lawson didn't even want an honour.
No. Do you want an honour, Michael?
It's very ageing.
No, I didn't ask you whether it was ageing. I said, would you accept an honour? Would you accept a knighthood?
Depends what age I am. It depends whether it ages me or not. If it's the right age, it's the right thing.
Will you go to the Lords?
Are you going to invite me? Who's going to invite me?
Not my place, but would you go if you were asked?
I don't know that, Anne. We'll see.
I think you're avoiding the question.
We'll see what the conditions are at the time.
You're going to give up Parliament. Actually, your life started as a bit of a showbiz kid, didn't you? Because you were a Ribena baby.
Not quite a baby, a Ribena child. I was 8 years old when I made a Ribena commercial, yes.
Oh, how sweet. Who do you think has been a great achiever this year? Who would you nominate?
Oh, I would say... I'm afraid he's dead, so this is a posthumous award. I would say Tolkien, because he won the Big Read, and he's now had three three-hour movies made of his work, and everybody says they're marvellous and great entertainment.
OK, thank you.
Colin, we've already mentioned over there your award. You got upgraded.
Yes, I did. I started off as an MBE, then went to an OBE, and then now I'm stuck at a CBE, so it's not too bad.
What does it feel like for you? I mean, you're used to running and training for medals, and this was something that was handed to you.
Yeah, it's always a little bit different when you get these type of medals, these type of awards, because it's something you don't actually set out to do. When you're trying to win a world championship or a European championship, you actually set out to achieve those goals. But when they kind of bestow a CB or an OB on you, then it's like another, oh, wow, thank you very much.
And what did Her Majesty say to you?
She actually said to me, you've been at it a long time.
Did she explain herself?
Hopefully she didn't need to.
And how are you doing this evening?
Pretty poor, I'd have thought.
Really?
Yeah, a bit of guesswork going on numerous occasions.
Normally the celebs cheat like crazy up here.
Oh, there's a lot of whispering going on. I must
Is
admit,
there?
yeah. There's a bit of whispering.
Look at Michael here, he's shocked and stunned. Let's have a chat about Nebworth. We're talking about talking about Robbie, and Matt, you actually went, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I went with my girlfriend. We had an awesome time. It was definitely not the traffic flow answer that was on there. Definitely not, because we had to walk about 3 miles to get there. But what a concert that was! It was amazing.
You, of course, now be privately helicoptered in and out now.
Oh, I wish. He shot off to the side and helicoptered over us all and said, "Just everyone wait there, chill out for a bit, let the cars go, and then you can walk." But no, we just stayed and had a couple of beers and enjoyed the surroundings.
We've got Angela's boyfriend, Jason. He's actually a bit of a mate of Robbie, isn't he?
Yeah, Max. He's Max Beasley's brother, and he was playing with Robbie on the stage and stuff. So yeah, so we got to go to Nebworth too, and it was amazing.
And you in Prague. You also went to see him in Prague, and didn't he dedicate a song to you?
Yeah, he did. The last song he does Feel before he goes off and comes back on. And he went, I just want to dedicate this one to Jay and Ange. And we were just like, oh my God, oh my God. But everyone was Czech, and no one knew it was us. So we were like jumping about going, where Jay and Ange? It's us, he said it to us. But no one cared.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing absolutely rubbish.
Are you?
Yeah.
What about you, Linda? How are you doing?
I think my buzzer's not working.
I think it probably is, because at the moment, as far as our celebrities are concerned, you're in the lead.
Really?
Yes, you are. I don't know whether that says nothing for the rest of them. But you are in the lead. Annie?
Oh, my buzzer's definitely working.
Keep it up, Linda. Keep it up. And we're almost halfway through the test, and we're going to move on now to section 3, which is popular culture. Should be easy peasy for young trendies in our groups. So, beauticians, a chance for you to shine. Not so sure about the old lawyers there. Right. And magicians, some magic... Well, they can shout very loudly. Have you brought your magic wands with you? Yes. Just their magic. Mobile users, get those thumbs ready to work. I do think if the Queen can do texting during a rugby final, anyone else can do it. First, a few images. Now, 5 questions on entertainment, 15 seconds each. Watch the clips first.
Baby, love. I need a love that's strong and tough. So once you're home, when things get rough, I need a love that is big enough. Bye bye, baby. Lie to me, baby. Must have been crazy, baby. Bye bye.
What distinguished Gemini's performance at the Eurovision Song Contest? Was it that they came first? They came last? They were booed off stage? Or they forgot their words?
Dad! Dad? Dad, this is Dennis. Your son. I don't think you've really met yet.
No. We don't know anything about each other, do we, Dennis? Well, looks like I'm home then, eh?
Where had Dirty Dead been for the past 14 years? Had he been in Spain, Portugal, Brazil, or South Africa? Gareth Gates to sing Spirit in the Sky for comic relief? Was it the Osbournes, the League of Gentlemen, the Darkness, or the Kumars?
You have an obligation to your own sanity.
I am attended by doctors everywhere. I am attended by doctors who inform me of my own interests.
Nicole Kidman wore a false nose to play which writer in The Hours? Sylvia Plath, Virginia Woolf, Iris Murdoch, or Enid Blyton?
You say that. You say what you've just said and expect a shoulder to cry on. Then what do you expect?
I just wanted to understand.
How can I understand you? Stupid,
Let me
evil,
explain.
lying! She was a young mother, a whole life ahead.
It was an accident!
How could it be an accident? She was hit over the head with a crowbar.
She wasn't supposed to be there.
A very overexcited Gale who lost his wife at the hands of Corrie killer Richard Hillman. Was it Jack Duckworth, Martin Platt, Ashley Peacock, or Steve MacDonald? Swiftly, we're going to move on to questions for Culture Vultures. 15 seconds each. What threatened the launch of the latest Harry Potter book? Was it a printer's strike, a lorry load of books stolen, that J.K. Rowling missed her deadline, or a world paper shortage? What prize did this person win? The Turner, the Dame Edna lookalike, the most glamorous designer, or the Perrier comedy? Why was this Leonardo da Vinci painting removed from its Scottish home? It was sold for tax reasons, it was stolen in broad daylight, it was returned to the Vatican, or it was found to be a fake. Which musician put a spell on you for the last time in April? Aretha Franklin, Eartha Kitt, Nina Simone, or Barry White? Which novel won the Man Booker Prize? Was it Brick Lane, Oryx and Crake, Notes on a Scandal, or Vernon God Little? The wheel clampers are very confident on the Man Booker Prize, I think. Right, the last part of the section is sporting moments. 20 seconds for each question, and even non-sporty people should be able to cope. Even the wheel clampers will be able to cope.
Australia come back. Here it is for Johnny. Has he done it? He sure has. Heartbreaker for the Wallabies.
The England rugby team became world champions for the first time. Who scored their only try of the final? Was it Will Greenwood, Jason Robinson, Johnny Wilkinson, or Matt Dawson?
No real conviction about their game yet, but here's Heskey. Now Rooney's following up here, and there's conviction now. Wayne Rooney has become the youngest goal scorer in England's international history.
Wayne Rooney became the youngest footballer to score for England. Which country was the team playing against? Was it Macedonia, Turkey, Australia, or Liechtenstein?
It is 4 years, 4 and a bit years in the job, can become very repetitive and tests you deep mentally, and I just felt I wasn't quite on the boil enough there.
After 4 years as England captain, Nasser Hussain quit. Who replaced him? Darren Gough, Andrew Flintoff, Michael Vaughan, or Phil Tufton?
Here she is, the most popular female athlete in Britain, going through there. Tremendous support from the crowd. She tells me she loves the support from the crowd. She really enjoys the atmosphere of this big event. And let's face it, we're looking at a novice, really. She's only run the marathon 3 times.
What did Paula Radcliffe break at the London Marathon? The men's London Marathon record, her own world record, the 2-hour barrier, or a toe?
I believe that as human beings we have limits, but they're nowhere near where we think they are. If I can see something that is a massive challenge to me, something that I either believe is completely impossible or I know is going to be exceptionally difficult, if I can embrace that, and that's become my quest to see how strong I am.
What did Tanya Streeter plunge to new depths to achieve? A world free diving record, a world free falling record, a world abseiling record, or a world potholing record? Yes, that's the end of our third section. 2 more to go. And again, for those on their mobiles, the number to send your answers for questions 31 to 40 is 07797 808 083.
Back with the reviewers now. And Michael, you soap fan? There's a couple of soap questions there.
In fact, the only soap I know anything about is the stuff I use in the shower. Otherwise, drama, Ally McBeal, West Wing, but no soap.
Because, I mean, the Tory party's a little bit like a soap, isn't it? You know, you've got Ian Duncan Smith stabbed in the back. You've got Michael Howard came back like Dirty Den out of nowhere.
Well, Michael Howard rose from the dead, really. Actually, I'm writing a book now on the last 2 leaders of the Conservative Party. It takes its inspiration from Star Trek. It's called To Baldly Go. And actually, I'm being asked for a sequel now because, and I borrowed this title from E.M. Forster. It's called Howard's Start.
So are you actually going to be one of these people who does bring out some sort of a book in the future?
I very much doubt it. Ian Duncan Smith did bring out a book this year, and it wasn't met with universal acclaim, and it's not really very encouraging to the rest of us.
What about reluctant stars, Mark? What about Johnny Wilkinson? He doesn't seem to provide you guys with what you want.
No, I think it's a bit of a culture shock for him, first of all, but I think even more when it settles in for him, he just doesn't want to be that type of celeb. He doesn't want to be the kind of rent-a-celeb. He wants to keep himself to himself because he is a sportsman. But there's always going to be interest because he is now legendary, and he's also put a lot of pride back in the sporting nation. So whether he likes it or not, he is a celeb. Probably there's no bigger celeb in Britain at the moment.
But you guys in publishing must dream of him being another Beckham.
Yeah, and I think he's not far away. I mean, he's already made the advert with Beckham. He lives in this country, which Beckham doesn't now. So I think whether he likes it or not, he's the biggest celeb there is.
What would you say to him, Michael, if you were his manager? Would you say, hold
Johnny?
back now? Yeah, hold back now. Take it easy.
I'd say he's got it absolutely 100% right as he is. I think everybody likes this really modest man who's not being spoiled by stardom. If he can just keep it that way, everyone will go on loving him.
Good. Thank you both very much indeed. Annie?
Thank you. Colin Jackson, you're doing very well, darling.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I know you look lovely, but your score's quite good too.
I'm sure this wasn't working, you know, at one stage.
No, you're very modest. Leslie, you look very beautiful despite the pneumonia.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me, are you a fan of the Eurovision Song Contest?
Well, I am a bit, to tell you the truth.
not?
Well, I was once the kind of interval entertainment. And it was great fun. I really enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it. It's an institution.
Ricky, how do you think you're doing now?
I'm not so sure now.
Are you? You're not looking so confident.
No.
And when you're not on EastEnders, are you watching it at home?
Sometimes you do watch it when you're not actually involved in the programme because you don't get the scripts, and it's nice to see how your fellow actors are doing and to encourage them when you get in the morning, you know.
You were born in Walthamstow, weren't you?
I was indeed.
So
yes.
you've got a genuine East End accent.
I think so, darling.
Some actors are frightfully posh, are they, on EastEnders, when they're not being on EastEnders?
Well, I think it all depends, really. I mean, sometimes you have to sort of change your accent a little bit so that people can understand you, so to speak.
So do you have to become more East End when you're on?
Some do, some don't. Sometimes they tell me to tone it down.
Do they?
Yeah.
What does it sound like when you're not toning it down?
Rougher than it is now.
Linda, we haven't seen your legs much on television before. They're rather beautiful, aren't they?
Thank you.
You've disarmed me completely, Anne.
Yes, I wanted to do that. What's been a high culture point for you this year, dear?
High culture. Well, I was thrilled by that man, that transvestite winning the Turner Prize, Grayson Perry, because I love the fact he was such a rubbish transvestite. He was so English. He looked like Bonnie Langford on anabolic steroids. And I enjoyed that. And the low point culturally has to be, once again, the new Harry Potter book. So it means more and more adults publicly and shamelessly reading Harry Potter when they are adults. It's completely abnormal, and if they're going to do it on the tube or on the train, then they should just at least have the grace to disguise it as porn. At least that's meant for adults.
What are you reading at the moment, then? Not Harry Potter?
No, I did actually read Vernon Godlittle recently, the Man Booker Prize winner. It's fantastic. Couldn't recommend it too highly.
No, the Wheel Clampers are very keen on it too.
Yeah, I've been told that we go to the same book club.
Do you? Yes, I can see the Wheel Clampers are obviously book club people. Philip?
Let's have a chat to Dean here, Dean Hasty, who you actually managed to get a bit of time off work, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I saved up on my leave for the year, so I had about a month in total that I put all together at the end of the year to go out and watch Matt and the boys in Australia win the World Cup.
How many of you went?
There was 5 of us, some mates that I used to play rugby with, and some friends from work. So, yeah, we'd saved up all year, saved all our leave up, and thought we had to.
How much did it cost?
I think it cost over £3,000. So.
Was it worth it?
Oh yeah, it's worth every penny. Fantastic.
And you didn't get to meet any of them?
No, we did a bit of stalking around the hotel when they were in Brisbane, just doing a bit of sort of star spotting. But no, we didn't meet any of them. We sort of left them to it.
So how do you feel about being that far away from Matt?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Didn't get his autograph?
No, I didn't. No, unfortunately not. No.
I expect you'll probably be hanging around later to try and get it, won't you?
I expect I'll try and catch one.
We thought sort of $3,000, you know, sort of blowing all that money and going out there probably was worth something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we've got his autograph for you. Hold on a second. I'll come over. All right. Well done. There you go. Let's have a look. It says, to Dean, what a trip. Terrific. Was that worth it?
It was.
Going to keep hold of that. You're not going to sell that and get your £3,000 back.
I'll keep that. Definitely, I'll keep
that. I ought to tell you, actually, at this stage of the game, firefighters, you are doing extremely well. The lawyers over here, we've got Tom Vaughan. Are lawyers sporty?
Very sporty. We're known to work hard, but we play even harder.
So how do you exercise then? You're a biker?
That's right. Well, our firm this summer, we did the London to Brighton. It's about 70 kilometres. We did it middle of June, one of the hottest days of the year. So
you nearly flaked out, didn't you?
Nearly flaked out, but made it.
How do you think you're doing?
Pretty good.
How do you think you're doing on the whole, lawyers? Yeah? Sitting here quite smug, you think these are easy? Are you smug?
Yeah.
How easy are these questions?
Well, easy.
Not too bad. You're right, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Ridiculously hard.
An honest lawyer, good lord. In actual fact, you're not doing as well as the firefighters, you might. But I have to say that, Tom, you have got 34 out of 45 so far, so well done. He's not doing too badly. Annie.
Thank you. Right, how are the rest of the studio doing? Magicians! But are you doing any good, do you think? Rubbish. Right, Wheel Clampers, are you as bright as those jackets? I don't think they're very sure. Forces families, are we doing well? Very confident. We're going to go on to the 4th section. This is about things that have ended, things that have gone, and people who've died, all in 2003. Let's jog your memory first. And we'll start with 5 questions on new beginnings. What month was the congestion charge for London introduced? Was it January, February, March, or April? What creature greeted Harry here at the start of his gap year? Was it a koala, a wallaby, a hedgehog, or a echidna? Echidna, I'm sorry. Mike Fuller became the first black chief police constable of which county? Was it Somerset, Lancashire, Kent, or Dumfries and Galloway? What did this animation mark the start of? Was it New Alton Towers ride, the launch of BBC Three, a new children's cartoon, or a new type of cereal? Sarah Tether became the youngest MP in Parliament. What's her constituency? Brent East, Dunfermline East, Belfast East, or Swansea East? Michael, what would be your advice to young Sarah as a new MP?
I'd say stay out of the bars. Try and keep your voice down, because if women become a little bit shrill in the House of Commons, that's always an immense disadvantage. And she must also remember that what the electorate has given her, the electorate can take away.
And how does it feel for you? Because you're never, ever now going to be Prime Minister, are you?
Feels fine, thank you very much.
No, but you must have at one point. Don't all MPs? I mean, 20 years, you know, you were riding very high. Was it a disappointment? Was it a tragedy?
It's certainly not a tragedy. Everybody else wanted me to be Prime Minister, and I did think about it from time to time. But I tried always to think that my real ambition was to make each year better than the one before. And apart from maybe 1 or 2 years, I've always achieved that.
Do you think that Enoch Powell belief that all political careers end in failure is true?
I thought it was going to be challenged by Tony Blair, but now I'm beginning to think that it's going to be true even in his case.
There you go. Ooh, didn't like that at all, did we, firefighters? Next, strange but true events of the year, 15 seconds each. Whose party was this man attending? Was it Prince Andrew's, Prince Edward's, Prince Harry, or Prince William's? What's happening here? Is it an art gallery opening, a heat wave, an anti-war protest, or a new nudist colony? What did David Blaine cut to gain press attention for his UK stunt? Was it a fingertip, an ear, a nose, or his throat? Who put this performance onto the front pages? Madonna lost her voice, Christina tripped over, they kissed each other, or Britney burst into tears. Again. What was Cherie singing? She's singing Stand By Your Man, or My Way, or When I'm 64, or indeed Things Can Only Get Better. Right, we've come to the last part of this section. This is the end of an era part, and there are 20 seconds per question this time. The final whistle was blown on Wembley's Twin Towers. What will replace them? A giant arch, a single tower, a sliding roof, or a golden statue of Beckham? Concorde had its last commercial flight in October. What could you not do on any BA Concorde flight? Land earlier than you departed, break the sound barrier, travel first class, or fly higher than any civilian aircraft? Four ministers left the government. Which one didn't resign over Iraq? Was it Claire Short, Alan Milburn, John Denham, or Robin Cook? was called on a famous tradition at Wimbledon. What was it? Was it using linesmen for line calls? Was it players being required to wear white? Was it eating strawberries and cream? Or was it bowing and curtsying to the royal box? Jimmy Young said, "Bye for now" on Radio 2. Who replaced him? Was it Jeremy Vine, Nicky Campbell, Chris Moyles, or Jonathan Ross? And that's the end of the fourth section. Only 10 more questions to test your knowledge of 2003. Again, the number for those using their mobiles. This is for the answers to questions 46 to 60. 07797 808 084. Lawyers, how's it going? I don't think they feel they've done very well at all. In fact, they look very shell-shocked, not something we're used to lawyers looking. Any barristers among you?
Just one, Abby.
Just put your hand up if you're a barrister. Oh, quite a middle-aged barrister.
Thank you.
Oh, a baby barrister, did you say?
No, indeed not. Not a baby barrister, no.
Magicians? Well, they know how to shout. Where's Philip?
I'm over here with the firefighters who are currently neck and neck with the celebrities. And this is Rachel Harrison. December the 18th was actually quite a big day for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I passed out.
You passed out?
Yeah, not passed out from the actual training centre, so I'm only a baby of 3 days.
So what does that mean? How much training have you had to do?
16 weeks we've had to go through the training, which started on the 1st of September.
And why did you choose this career?
Basically, it's a challenge, really. I like a team events, so I thought I'd get something else to get stuck into.
Were you affected by the strike at all?
Yeah, because we were due to start in May, but with the strikes that they entailed, it got held back to the 1st of September.
And there are a lot of women firefighters here, well represented.
Yeah, I've actually joined 18 out of 2,500 men and the Greater Manchester Fire Brigade. So it's quite an achievement for me and the other girls.
When will you go out on your first shout?
I actually due to start on the 5th of January, so I've not actually had my first shout or had the bells come down or anything yet.
Are you nervous?
Totally, yes.
What's the most scary thing?
Being here interviewed by you.
No, that's got to be easy. Easier than fighting fires, surely.
No, that's what we get trained to do.
But you're not trained for this?
No, not
How are you doing
trained
this
at all.
evening?
I hope I'm doing okay, actually.
OK, well, I can tell you actually got 47 out of 60.
That's not bad.
So that's not bad going. Well done to you. Very good. That is a very, very high score. So obviously that's a terrific career, and obviously well recommended there as well. But there will be people watching. Maybe it's you this evening, and maybe you were made redundant this year. Maybe it hasn't been a perfect year, 2003. But I have to say that sometimes being made redundant can work very well, as it has, in fact, for you, Lisa Humphreys. Why was being made redundant the best thing that happened to you this year?
I managed to start my own business.
What were you doing before?
I worked in a bank as a secretary. And then I trained to be a nail technician and opened a salon.
Was that day of redundancy heartbreaking for you?
I would like to tell the bank it was, but it wasn't.
Why was it the best thing that happened to you?
Because I became independent and I can earn my own money and nobody checks their watch when I'm 5 minutes late.
And what about when you're setting up your own beauty salon? There is one mistake that you would like to recommend to other people they don't make, and that's to get members of your family to make the furniture.
My poor husband, who never live it down, he cut the chairs down by 6 inches instead of 6 centimetres. So all the customers sat with their arms like that, having their nails done.
You kept a couple of them at the back, just to laugh
remind him.
And let's just very quickly have a word with our clampers here. We've got John Fannon, who's not a happy clamper. You did actually. You did actually have a bit of a problem with the van, didn't you?
Yeah, I went down to pick up a car what was being clamped to my lorry. I got down there, my lorry broke down. I had a phone call. They took the car away, took my lorry away and left me at the bus stop. In the rain.
Were you in... Oh, really?
No phone, no nothing.
No, really? God, I feel so sorry for you. And so were you in all your clamping gear?
Yeah, yeah.
So did they eventually come back for you?
They come back for me, yeah, laughing.
How do you think you did?
And I weren't too pleased.
How are you doing this evening?
I don't know. Brilliant, I hope.
You hope brilliant?
Yeah.
What about the tough ones? What have been the tough questions for you?
They're all tough for me, I'm afraid. Yeah.
I have to tell you, and we're going to be very kind, you're not doing too well at the moment.
Right.
There's still plenty to go. Actually, not that much. Annie?
Magicians, I'm quite interested how you feel about David Blade. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Oh, that's very generous. There's only a few with the thumbs down. And I hope someone's going to perform a trick for me. Nick Einhorn, where are you?
I'm here.
Are you now?
Yes.
Is this going to be... Hang on a second, don't start before me. Is this going to be better than David Blaine?
You can make your own mind up.
I will.
Yeah.
Come on, knock our socks off.
Well, I know the wheel clampers are here. They're going to like this because I've been collecting parking tickets from all over London over the last few days and all different councils and boroughs. And I found a new way to pay them. All I do is give them a little shake like this and they turn into £20 notes. And that's how I pay my parking tickets.
Where are you from?
I'm from Elstree, Hertfordshire.
Yes, well, in London, a parking ticket is £50, so £20 is no use.
Not when you're paying cash.
Is that right? Now we know.
Very good. Linda, what sort of... Let's talk about Wembley, and a big year for Wembley 2003. What sort of memories does it hold for you?
Well, no footballing memories for me because I support West Ham, so I haven't really had occasion to go there for a football event. But years and years and years ago, I did go and see Prince perform there, and it was absolutely terrible because he's really, really tiny, and I was miles away. It was like watching an erotic flea circus. Just leaping about, going, little red Corvette, bing, bing, bing.
He's a small guy anyway, isn't he?
But lovely little outfits. Someone had gone blind making these little outfits.
And Leslie, for you, Wembley, huge memories.
Oh, fantastic memories. I was incredibly honoured to be the last person ever to sing... what is it we're singing?
Abide With Me.
Abide With Me! I forgot what we sing.
Thank God you didn't forget it.
Abide With Me. I was the last person ever to sing. I think I forgot. Abide With Me from Wembley Stadium, the very last FA Cup final ever. And it was fantastic because there were 93,000 people singing with me and it was probably the highlight of my life. And the following night, we had what was called the Final Ball, which was brilliant. It was in aid of the NSPCC, and there were thousands of wonderful people there, and I actually got on stage to sing it again, and Elton John was on there with me. He was actually my warm-up act, and I think that's pretty well a good memory.
No, that's not bad going at all. I think, Michael, weren't you in the crowd
when?
That night at Wembley? Were you there that night?
I was not there.
Were you there?
No.
I thought you were.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry
There's
about
a lot of people who look like me, you know.
Well, that can't possibly be
Did I have a
true. You were on Concorde, though.
I have been on Concorde once. Actually, I covered the inaugural flight of Concorde in 1976, but a BBC bigwig got the flight, and I stayed behind and did the report. But then I went on one of those round the bay things to Monte Carlo on some rather odd outing, actually, staged by somebody who went to jail shortly afterwards, so I've been a bit nervous about it ever since.
And did you take anything when you were on board? Sort of souvenirs and things?
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, we stack it out with a few bottles, I seem to remember. Yes,
because it's pretty good souvenirs.
Yeah, you're very cramped, but the souvenirs are good.
I mean, Colin, you know the souvenirs are pretty good on Concorde.
Yeah, I've flown Concorde as well, so... yeah, it's not the normal duty-free list, you'd say. You know, they're a little bit special. I think the cheapest thing's about 250 quid, so my wallet stayed firmly in my pocket.
There was a part of Concorde that didn't suit you, though, wasn't there?
Yeah, because the plane is a little bit tight, I think is a polite way of putting it. And because of the curve of the actual plane, when you actually go into the bathroom, if you're a guy, you're leaning back a bit. And you've got to aim remarkably well.
OK. I think slightly too much information there. So, Lindsay, thank you very much indeed. Annie?
Well, Michael, you like us to think you're a bit of a square, really, don't you?
I know that it pleases you to think that, Anne, yes.
Yeah, well,
yes.
I do. I think you look like a bit of a square, but you're a Jimmy Young fan, for example.
A Jimmy Young fan? Yeah. I think he's a great interviewer, It's very difficult to follow that act. That lovely casual style.
Yeah.
20-minute interview, and he lulls you into a false sense of security.
Has he interviewed you?
Yeah, lots of times.
Right. And before you became a square, Michael, when you were a little boy, what posters did you have up on your wall? What pop star were you adoring?
A pop star by the name of Harold Wilson.
I see. So you changed parties?
I did, yes.
Why?
I saw the light, Anne.
Did you?
Yeah.
Mark, what's been the best new thing in 2003, do you think?
The bizarre thing was the reinvention of Madonna as an author of children's books. Everything she's done in the last couple of years has been a bit of a disaster. The film has not done very well. The latest album's not done very well. Bear in mind, this is a woman who 10 years ago was posing for rude pictures in a book called Sex, has now written in the last year 2 children's books. And they've done really well. I mean, fair play to her. They've done brilliantly.
Is this her talent? Because this is, I mean, she keeps reinventing herself. Is it her own ideas?
I think so. I think motherhood has completely changed her.
Yeah.
And I think that she feels that she has something to say. She feels there's a kind of new generation of ideas to put in children's books. And that, you know, they're really good, so good on her.
It's impossible not to admire her in the end.
Oh, it's incredible. The reinventions and keeping going and, you know, sometimes the films don't do well, sometimes the albums don't sell, but then she'll go on the MTV Awards, snog Britney Spears, and she's on the front cover of all the magazines again.
She's always got another trick in her bag.
And always will, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. We're on to our last section now. This is Potluck. It's a mixed bag about the year. Some images first to remind you. Now, 10 questions, 15 seconds each. Here we go. Mr. Jeffries made his debut in the Guinness Book of Records. What for? The droopiest eyes, the longest ears, fathering the most puppies, or being the oldest basset hound? Which fashion item made a comeback? Was it the miniskirt, the bowler hat, winkle pickers, or bloomers? Prisoners from Leyhill won 2 awards this summer. What for? Was it writing a best-selling novel, creating a garden, putting on a play, or getting into the charts? A third nation joined the space race this autumn. Whose spacecraft was it this time? Was it China, Japan, Canada, or Brazil? What was the name of the hurricane that shut down Washington, D.C.? Was it Wilma, Isabel, Nancy, or Dorothy? Which architect won the commission for the design of the new World Trade Center site? Was it Frank Gehry, Norman Foster, Richard Rogers, or Daniel Libeskind? Who was beatified by Pope John Paul in October? Was it Diana, Princess of Wales, Mother Teresa, Princess Grace of Monaco, or Cardinal Winning? Which planet passed closer to Earth than at any time in almost 60,000 years? Was it Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, or Venus? What was this controversial poster advertising? Britain's Olympic bid, the Atkins diet, Eurostar, or Paul Burrell's book? And finally, a new set of playing cards were issued in the USA. What was on them? Top TV stars, top fashion icons, top military vehicles, or most wanted Iraqis? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the 2003 test. Cheerful again. Those using their mobiles, here's the number to send your answers to questions 61 to 70 to 07797 808 085. And mobile phone users, you should get your answers quite soon, but I know that we've had a huge response tonight, so if there is a bit of a delay, because twice as many people have taken part using their mobiles as last time, so bear with us. I know people hate people saying bear with us on the phone, but anyway, you'll get your results shortly. Philip.
And the good news for everyone, obviously, is that the test is now over. You won't have to remember any new events until January the 1st next year. What do you think, Mark, that 2003 will be remembered for?
I think it's been quite a tough, unsettling year in a lot of ways. You just have to listen to the news to see that. And I think the Rugby World Cup victory came along at the right time. It gave everyone a boost they needed, because it's been a tough year, I think.
Do you think that it is a year that we will remember for bad things, good things, tough things, soft things?
I think a lot of bad stuff. I mean, you know, when the country is at war, I mean, that tends to dominate the entire year, and people, you remember that, and it's always remembered in history. But I think there's been other things as well. It's one of those years, isn't it? But there's been good bits as well, and especially towards the end of the year. And today, with, you know, the hostage being freed, was just fantastic, and the Rugby World Cup and everything. So it's been a good kind of few weeks, but it's been a tough all year.
Hard year, 2003?
Yeah, hard year. I mean, I think the date will stick in people's minds for the rugby, because 1966 still means the Football World Cup for us, doesn't it? So the Iraq War will live in people's memories, but they'll probably be very hard put in 5 years' time to put a year to it.
Yes.
But they'll always be able to put a year to the rugby. Now, I think it has been tough, although I would say one counterpoint about the war is that there were these huge demonstrations, and I think for some people, they will have found a new sort of camaraderie in 1 million people going on the streets. I mean, that's not my point of view, I thought differently, but I can see that those 1 million people really discovered something, you know, important about joint activity, about movement on the streets and so on.
How would you have done if you'd been taking this test this evening?
Oh, quite poorly. Actually, I saw the questions before, and all evening I've been taking cough mixture, trying not to cough, so as to give any clues.
Yeah, but that's been done before.
But you know, when I saw the questions, I had a hard time figuring out a lot of them. But I didn't realise they were going to be done in 15 seconds. So, you know, I had 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
That's the pressure.
I think I would have done quite
That's
badly.
the pressure. Also under the pressure, of course, are our celebs.
Angela, how's it going for you?
All right.
Is it? Has 2003 been a good year?
Yeah, it has. It's been a very good year.
What's the most important thing that's happened for you in 2003?
Ooh, the most important thing was probably watching a blue line appear on a test and discovering that my entire life was going to change. I discovered I was pregnant this year. And that's the most memorable thing of 2003 for me.
And the baby is arriving?
In June.
In June. Well, congratulations.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Thank you very much.
Matt Dawson, I don't suppose you're pregnant, but what's been the biggest change for you since that great win?
What's been good for me in 2003?
No, since the win?
Well, I would probably have to say that parade. None of us expected quite as many people as 750,000 to turn up in the middle of London, and no, I think it's just one of those probably couple of hours when we turned the corner of Pall Mall East down into Trafalgar Square and saw you know, the sea of white. It was yeah.
But you were injured on Saturday, weren't you?
That's good knowledge, Anna.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I hurt my leg.
You did.
But it's been,
is it all right
it's
now,
been
dear?
soothed by
Good.
by my colleagues here.
Michael, 2003, a new beginning, a new end. What for you?
Well, I stopped doing the news on a regular basis and went back to being a reporter again, which is rather fun, and
Which do
writing
you
books.
prefer?
Oh, I think I prefer being a reporter. You become a journalist to sit in the front row of history somehow, not sit behind a desk.
And when you're reading the news, do you take in the news? Are you going to win tonight?
I think you do, actually, Anne, yeah. I think you do.
Quietly confident?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, no. Actually, quietly miserable.
OK, he's quietly miserable. We're going to take a break now for the news. You've got 30 minutes before we give you the results. Some very revealing moments coming up, so join us, please, in half an hour.
I can already tell you now that we're getting our results in our ears as we speak. I can tell you that 52,000 people have played online tonight, which is massive. And also, we have just heard that 42,000 people have texted their responses. So I think that deserves a round of applause. That's huge. Big response. Just before we go to the break, our cameras have been out and about testing other people's recollections of the year. What do they remember of 2003?
I think one of the most memorable images of 2003 was the toppling of the statue of Saddam Hussein.
This very stately statue of the former dictator of Iraq, and then contrast that with the sort of pathetic figure that we've just seen, you know, the last few weeks.
When all those school children came out just after February the 15th and demonstrated against the war, because that showed children doing citizenship, standing up for something they believed in.
The statue of Saddam Hussein finally toppling. It's like the fall of the Berlin Wall, a graphic scene. The capture of Saddam Hussein, and hopefully is bringing before international justice, has to be a good thing.
I've got my doubts about whether they have actually found Saddam Hussein, you know. Looking at the pictures, I think it's Uncle Bulgaria.
And then, of course, there was the weather. For the first time for many, many years, I had my traditional burst pipes with water squirting everywhere. And then in the summer, we had the heat wave, first time of over 100 Fahrenheit. And, of course, sensibly, I wasn't here.
We discovered that the Queen eats breakfast out of a Tupperware container. She likes to watch EastEnders.
Here was one of the wealthiest, most important first families in the world. And yet there were more Middle England than Middle England itself.
The end of Concorde was an amazing event because things like that are never meant to end, they're meant to get better.
The Rugby World Cup, when England beat Australia, the dramatic finish.
I saw the rugby up a mountain in Spain in German, which is a pretty surreal experience. We were there on a training camp. We were watching the game, which we found out that Wilkinson was in top form and Martin Johnson was der Kapitan.
Johnny Wilkinson did that amazing kick, and everyone came running out of their houses and was screaming and yelling, and it was just like, it was unbelievable.
And to win it in the last minute, we knew it was all over, so we were jumping up, ecstatic, shouting out the window, "Come on, England!"
Then the victory parade, and I have to say that I was there, even though it was a mistake, and I know that Johnny Wilkinson waved at me.
Actually, Natasha, he was waving at me. See you back after the news.